You're tuning into the Careering with Cameron podcast, your safe place for asking all the dumb questions about finding a job. Hi, welcome to Careering with Cameron. I'm Kevin Cameron, and today we're going to talk about something that many of you are facing, or you're facing with your children looking for new opportunities. How do you get started? Well, there's a lot of questions that I typically get around the topic of where do you even begin the process. Most universities and colleges have some sort of career services support that can help you, and I strongly recommend that you look into that, mostly because they will have resources that we're not aware of, and many times they have job boards that are not public facing. But looking into how do you find your first internship really can feel a little bit like the chicken and the egg. Which one do you start with and how do you get any experience? Don't sweat it. Companies hire interns specifically because they know you're still learning. I'm going to give you a 10-step roadmap to navigate your first search process and be confident in terms of what you're doing. The first thing I'm going to tell you, and most importantly, is you don't have to know what you're going to do for the next 50 years when you apply for an internship. What you should know is what interests you. Those topics that you're learning in school, things that are easy for you to study, easy for you to remember, exciting for you to go to class for. Obviously, you have a major. Ideally, there's someplace in your major, but the major may be more broad than the internship title that you're applying for. And that's understandable. You don't have to know everything day one. In fact, you shouldn't, because you'd be bored. What you should know is areas that are of interest to you that you would like to check out. Having an internship does not mean you're getting married to an employer and you're going to work there forever. It just means you're going to spend some time there with them, and hopefully they are in a position to have you do some engaging work where you can help them. Maybe there's projects for you to work on. Maybe there are things that are interesting that you can bring your education from the classroom to their operation and support some new projects that they would like to conquer. The goal really is for you to get some great experience and for them to get to know you while you're providing some support that maybe they don't have the bandwidth to provide. It should not be filing papers in a filing cabinet. That is no longer what an internship looks like. It should be something where you're learning, you're engaged and excited. This is their opportunity to show you what it would be like to work there, and it's your opportunity to show them the employee you would be if they chose to bring you in. The first step in my 10-step target: define your target. Before you click apply, decide what you actually want to try. It rhymes. Do you want a massive organization with lots and lots of employees, or are you looking for something more fast-paced that might be a startup and a little more risk? Narrowing your focus between 2 and 3 specific roles is what's going to make your search more efficient. What I always tell people who are in a career search, whether they're trying to pivot or they're looking for a new opportunity, is that being specific is more memorable. There's going to be a tendency for you to be as broad as possible with the types of roles you're looking for. That's okay if you're trying to figure out what's next, but the goal is to be as specific as you can and still be comfortable with what you're going to end up with in terms of your search results. Step 2, audit your experience. What do you know? What do you like? Did you have jobs in high school that were roles you really enjoyed? Maybe if you boil that down, you understand that you really like to work with people. You like to work with people, you like to meet people, talk to them. Maybe you are somebody who has no interest in working with people, and therefore you're looking for something that might be a little bit more technical or computer facing rather than people facing. That's okay. This is part of auditing your experience. If you've never had a real job, then look at class projects that you may be involved in. Those can be class projects from high school combined with class projects into college. The goal really is to figure out what are those opportunities that stick out for me that I enjoy. Case in point, my senior year of college was the first time I realized that maybe accounting wasn't as exciting as I thought it would be. That's just for me. My goal at that point was I wanted to find a job when I graduated, and I had an internship that ran through the last few years of my college education, and I converted that into a full-time role as an accountant. But I knew my senior year of college, after taking a business strategies class, that what I really enjoyed was working with people and figuring out how to make things work, also being a connector. That was sort of the breadcrumb to where my career would go. Pay attention to those breadcrumbs. They are adding value. That feeling that you get where you're thinking this is not even work, it's just something that comes natural to me, pay attention to that. In terms of your extracurricular activities also, pay attention to those. Are you in a club? Do you volunteer? What type of volunteering do you do? chances are if you are volunteering, it's something that you're passionate about. That should be something that you're looking into in terms of where to find an internship. And then obviously your hard skills. What software, languages, and tools do you know? All of those things combined can make you marketable for your internship. If you happen to have a class where you had exposure to a specific software, that'll be interesting to employers who use that specific software. It makes their onboarding process much easier for you. Now, the next step, building a master resume. We can go to AI and build a resume, and chances are you've already done that. You need to incorporate not only what AI is telling you, but also what is reasonable and what makes sense for your background, so you're an actual person. This is just like if you're submitting a report or a project or some type of update to your professor or teacher, you're not going to use AI to generate that. On the employer side, they will be able to tell if you used AI to generate your resume. So we want to make sure that it doesn't look like a bot wrote it. We want to make sure it looks like a human was involved in producing your resume. What that looks like essentially is utilizing AI to create a model, going to career services, asking for help in creating a model, reaching out to us in terms of at Talent Connect to help you create a model, but have something with some bones to it so you have a structure to work off of. And then building your specific resume, which should be your master. Now, what is a master resume? Well, the master resume is going to have a variety of different things included in it. It's going to be clean. It's going to be one page, no more than one page. It's going to have your education. It should have the education up near the top to demonstrate that you are still engaged in achieving your diploma, and then also using bullet points that start with strong action verbs: developed, managed, researched, all of those things to quantify your results. We want to also have data in your resume. So where possible, you want to be able to use some type of measurement tool, whether it's a percentage or dollars, whatever it may be, to be able to show that you can measure and quantify results in your resume. Some of those things may seem silly, but having some data along with words, A, makes it an easier read, and B, makes you more of an expert than you are without data. The master resume is really the version that can be morphed into other types of resumes for specific jobs. This is the one that you go back to and draw from when you need to find a specific resume for a position you're interested in. So that's your master. Please do not name your master resume. Don't name your other resumes by whatever the position is either. Name those resumes with some type of a code, whether it be a one or a letter or a combination. Make sure that it's something that makes sense to you, but doesn't necessarily give away that that resume was created for that employer. Next step, we want to optimize your LinkedIn profile. Think of LinkedIn as your digital storefront. Use a professional, clear headshot. Make sure that headshot is recent. Make sure that headshot is of you in a place where you can be yourself, but also a place that you would want your employer to see you, and also your mom. So make sure that it's something that looks like you would want it to be representing you, is the bottom line. So we want a nice, clean, clear headshot, current. We also want to have a headline, and that headline should say what you're looking for. So if you are, for example, an accounting student who is looking for a new opportunity, maybe you want accounting student aspiring to work in audit as an intern. That's what we're looking for at this point with your LinkedIn, so people understand what you're interested in right out of the gates. Make sure that you go on LinkedIn, and I'm aware that your parents are on LinkedIn, and I'm aware that your grandparents may also be on LinkedIn, but make sure you're connecting with classmates, professors, and most importantly, alumni from your school. You want to have as many people to connect with that you know as possible. You want them to see your story, and not like an Instagram story. I mean, you want them to see what you've been doing, what you're looking for, and how they can help you on LinkedIn. The more people that you have connected to you on LinkedIn, the more people who will be able to see it, like any other social media. Then, after your LinkedIn is optimized, I want you to go to your career center. And once again, they may have jobs that are available that are not posted someplace. Tell them what you're looking for. Ask them if they have any suggestions on how to help. They are experts. They will be able to help you. Make sure you're reaching out to them regularly so that they know what your results are, but also what you're working on, because they may have other alumni who can help you to get a foot in the door of those opportunities. Also, make sure that you are working with your profile on LinkedIn in terms of sharing updates, things that are interesting, resharing articles that are interesting, and also, just like college, following employers that you are interested in on your LinkedIn page. Step 6, the save and search phase. Start hunting platforms like Handshake, which is a great place for students to find positions, especially internships. LinkedIn, way up. Don't apply to everything immediately. Save the jobs that excite you, then categorize them by application deadline. You will will need a spreadsheet. If you would like, reach out to Talent Connect. You can reach out to me specifically and send me a message. We have an exceptional job tracker, we call it, that helps people who are in a career search mode. It will organize every detail of your job search where you're just filling in boxes, but it will keep this very clean, because if it's not, you will get phone calls and emails from people and you won't be sure where they're coming from. And that is a bad place to be. So utilize the tracker, build your own, but once again, it's free. Happy to offer it to you if you're looking for some help. Next topic, add this on to number 6. The other thing to add on to step 6 is I like to run a list of how you rank that opportunity in terms of interest. So not only the application deadline, but also, is it an A job for you? Is it a C job for you? What does it look like and how much effort are you going to put into this? Because if it's an A, there's no limit. If it's a C, there is a limit. So as you read through it, you want to have an idea what your priorities are in terms of those job descriptions. The job descriptions, you can also link into a job tracker, use a hyperlink, but I would also encourage you to take that job and flip it to a Word document or a PDF and save it in a drive, because if that job goes down where it's not posted any longer, it's going to be difficult for you to speak to it in an interview. Step 7, customize every application. Yes, I know this takes a lot of time. The goal is each application will be customized for the reader and for the job description that you're applying. We want to make sure that they feel as though that application was written purely for them. And we want to make sure that it ties back to things that are in that position description. We want to make sure that it's connected to maybe some news and research that you've completed on the organization to show you're very interested. This is your A job, but also make sure that you're tweaking your resume to match things that are in the job description. If they ask for Python skills, make sure Python's in your resume. That is really important. And I would tell you to run your resume and the job description through AI and see how close of a comparison you can find. There are programs that will do it for you. My caution to you is, like anything with AI, there have to be human guardrails. You need to make sure that what is being distributed at the back end of this is something that you are very aware of and you've proofread, and before you're sharing it with an employer, you're very comfortable with what they're getting, that it's a good representation of you. Most importantly, and probably the hardest for students that we work with to understand and comprehend, it's the power of networking. It's all about how many people you know and the people that you know being aware of what you're looking for. Networking sounds scary as a student. Here's the thing. You network all the time. As a student, you network all the time. Think about how many new people you meet every time you start a new semester. All of those people are folks that you're going to probably network with, or at least a good handful of them are people you're going to network with. Get to know them. What are they doing? What are they working on? What are the jobs that they're interested in? Because typically, if you help somebody, they help you. So the power of networking really is reaching out to alumni, reaching out to other people from your school who are in roles that you might want to be in. They actually might not be in the role, but they might be with the employer. And more often than not, alumni will help alumni. So reach out to them and explain what you're looking to do. Send them a quick message. Let them know what your connection is to them. Sometimes sending that through LinkedIn is successful. Sometimes not everybody is in LinkedIn all the time. You need to send a direct message to them, possibly something that you can get from career services, or you can find it through other resources online for sure. But that's really important. So making sure that you're doing that, but you're also doing that peer level and having a group of people to work with who have different interests in terms of what their internship is or first job is going to look like is important, because they may find things that don't fit them, but do fit you, and likewise. So keep that in mind. There is no bad connection. Prepare your pitch. Step 9. When you land an interview, you'll inevitably be asked, tell me about yourself. The question that drives fear down your spine. Where do you even start? What time frame are they talking about? What do they want to hear about? Have a 60-second elevator pitch ready that covers who you are, what's your major, what year you're graduating, what you have done, so a key project or skill, why you're there, why you want the specific internship. This is also something, building a elevator, we have a really nice template on that I'm happy to share. If you want some help with that, you can fill in. Just send us a message. Last step, number 10, most important step, follow up and track all of your different applications. When you're following up, the bottom line is just applying and letting it go is not enough. You need to work harder than that. They're not going to just give it to you. Chances are you're not going to apply and get the job. And that goes for pretty much the rest of your life. You're going to need to follow up. You're going to need to find people who are there, either colleagues, family, friends of family, whatever that may be, and say, I've applied to this position and I'm really excited about it. Is there anybody that you know that might be able to help me learn more about the role? Not, is there anybody there that could get me the job? That's not a good way to go. You want to learn more about the role. You want to always have that position in mind in terms of connections that you're making, especially if you're at an event, either at school or through a special specialty group, whatever that may be, where you're networking, have those job titles in mind and organizations that you're interested in mind, because it's absolutely okay to ask if they know of anybody in those companies. Also, your professors are a great place to go to ask if they have any contacts that can help to connect you. The bottom line is, we want to keep this simple. We want to be reaching out at least once a week on the positions that you may or may not have heard about yet. So once a week is about the limit for how long I want you to wait to reach back out. They may tell you that they're going to take some time to look at the applicants that submitted resumes. They may tell you that they're going to take some time to look at the applications that they've received, but it's okay to reach out and just express your interest. That shows that you're interested in the position. Also, making sure that you are connecting with people, ideally, who are there. I want you to think about this, going back to the storefront analogy. You're on Amazon. You're looking to purchase something. The first thing you're going to do, most likely, is look at the reviews. How many stars does this product have? Obviously, the price comes in there as well, but the stars really are the thing that you're identifying with. The more people that you know in an organization, the more stars you have. Those stars can triangulate you to be able to say, I know this person. They would be a great hire for us. That's what we're looking for in that triangulation program. If you get an interview, you want to always send a thank you note within 24 hours. That thank you note needs to be specific. It needs to be about something that you discussed in the interview, something they discussed in the interview. Sometimes there's an icebreaker, and so they'll talk about they went to the same university, or they had the same major, or did you take this class yet? Something that makes you specific so that when they get the thank you note, they remember exactly who you are before they have to look at your resume. That's really important. Be specific. The other piece of this, which we're going to continue to cover, because this will be a kind of a mini series, is the application process in terms of cover letters. So that is something I did not highlight early on, but it is something to keep in mind. Cover letters need to happen. They are back. We're not getting rid of them. The cover letter is their way of identifying your writing skills, and it is absolutely their way of identifying, are you going to use AI to write your cover letters, or will you actually write the cover letter? It needs to be succinct. It needs to tell them basically your elevator, and then on top of that should be telling them what you're looking for, why you're interested, and make sure it has something specific about why you're interested in that role. Make sure that's all there. Okay. The cover letter really is part of the process. Sometimes you will find you're submitting an application and there's no space for a cover letter. That's fine. But more often than not, they're looking for a cover letter, and especially a cover letter. If you are networking and sending your resume to someone who works in the organization, you need a cover letter. It should come with that. So those are really important 10 steps, I guess it's technically 11, to help you get started with your search. I'm happy to answer questions. Please reach out to us if you need some help. This will be the step one of multiple steps in terms of podcasts around helping you to get started and helping you to find that internship. I know there's lots of questions. I know there's lots of fear around making a mistake. I know if you're a parent, you're worried about, are we getting started on time? Are we behind? What's happening? We need to find something. Your student will definitely get there. It is a matter of making sure they have the tools they need. If you are watching this and they have not watched it, or if you're listening to it and they have not listened to it, I recommend that you share it with them to help them with some guidelines, to help them with figuring out what they should be doing. And then certainly reach out if you need some help. We do provide coaching one-to-one for students, but want to make sure that they have the tools that they need and that you have the tools that you need to help them. This was a great show. If you enjoyed the show and listening to this podcast, please give us all the stars and also subscribe to our podcast network, Careering with Cameron. If you're looking to get in touch with us, you can do that www.talent-connect.net, and we'll see you next time. Thanks so much. Stay in the loop at careeringwithcameron.com/talent connect, or check out our website, www.talent-connect.net.